We are just looking here at obesity in high schools. And then as a teacher again, I've decided to look at this. In order to succeed in life, one needs three things, which are vision, direction, and discipline. Vision is a target that is time frame bound. Direction is the way to get the target. Discipline is the control that paves the way to the target. And then here I'm just looking at learners who are purpose-driven, highly disciplined, who will be even disciplined to what they eat. And then I went where I started to view learners of today. Lack of vision, direction, and discipline. Sometimes we may ask ourselves why. Most of them come from dysfunctional families where there is violence. And again, where parents fail to prioritize, you'll find that children are left in South Africa and a mother or a father is working here in America. And families are led by children. So through that, you'll find that they lack what? Vision, direction, and discipline. And again, I started to look at family background and upbringing. Lack of confidence in parents. Children can manipulate parents who don't have confidence themselves. So that's why I've decided to look at the family background and upbringing. And again, in South Africa, we have tended to be so hedonistic. We like parties, even adults. So here, hedonistic parents would not spend quality time to love and appreciate their children. And it's so important to be loved and appreciated because it improves your self-esteem. And again, we are just looking at this background from home, taken to school, expecting same treatment from educators, learners, expecting same treatment from teachers. And at school, there are policies. Our SA government school feeding program intended to reduce junk eating by learners, ever defeated by wrong eating habits, because children are used to sweet chocolates, as we have just seen one of the presenters. Another thing that I've just looked here, learners without pressure. Learners who are not pressurized by destiny, living for now, eating anything that is before them. Going back to what I've said again, vision, direction, discipline. So now we are just looking at apathy-stricken visionary learners who are no longer motivated. Perhaps thinking about funds, how can I reach my destiny? So I better be this, because even though I see my destiny, but I cannot reach my destiny because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, another thing, migration of role model to suburbs. Even though apartheid was so bad in South Africa, but it was so good because all enlightened Africans were in rural areas as well as townships. But immediately after apartheid, all informed people decided to move away from rural areas as well as townships. So townships were left without role models. As does most of the children in townships, they indulge in liquor, all antisocial activities. Oh, the technology, advantage and disadvantage of technology. No participation in formal sports, ever sitting down, potato coaches. And then again, resorting to junk food and eating and alcohol consumption. You know, youth in South Africa, they are just hedonistic, they enjoy parties. As it is now, the exams are over. There are pens down parties. What are they eating there? Pap, meat, as well as alcohol, soak and beer, which is very cheap. And they start developing a belly stomach at early age. And then here I just look at the statistics information in RSA. About 70% of children between ages 1 and 9 are obese. Children between 10 and 15 years were found to be having the BIM of 17.4% to 19.9%. Girls were higher than boys with BM of 23% and 15% respectively. Even base children were found to be having high BMI as compared to their royal counterparts, as researched. Implication to learning. Obese learners are often discriminated and lose self-esteem. They are nicknamed. I come from KZN, where Zulu language is spoken. When you are so obese, they will say, "Dins, dins, dins," with an intention to irritate you. And then as a result, low self-esteem always leads to lack of confidence. Short concentration span will always lead to early school dropout. Society is appearing these school leavers loitering around, doing nothing except eating. And this is also taxing the government because they are contributing nothing to the government. And then we look at the preventative measures. More education is needed from school so as to reduce the supplementation of feeding scheme with junk. In KZN, where I come from, there is Masisume Sake, meaning let's stand and build up. Provincial government initiative to keep children active after school. And then we have got sport, another thing, sport revival at school, so as to help reduce obesity among learners, as my colleague Emmanuel has stated. And then we have got this new subject, which is called LO, Life Orientation. Should be treated serious by school because it contains vision, direction, and discipline. But unfortunately, most of the time it is taken as a filler subject, done by a person to add a duty load it is not taken serious at all. And then the nation without vision perishes. Direct education to begin at home and be emphasized at school. In conclusion, obesity in children should be taken seriously so as to improve life expectancy. Focus to be more on girls as they seem to be more obese than boys. Perhaps I can elaborate through that. Rigidity in culture. Girls are not allowed to be active like boys. That's why most of the time girls become so obese. Parents and educators are to be role models for their children. Lastly, the world to join hands in addressing the issues of children obesity for the better tomorrow nation. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions?
Are there any questions?
I thought I've escaped this one.
Do you have any statistics about the dropout rates for obese children compared to non-obese children?
I don't have it here. Perhaps my colleague can help if you do have that.
Are there any efforts
Micro, please, I can hardly hear him.
Are there efforts going on for educating people at a younger age so the parents have the education before the children get to high school?
Unfortunately, we don't have yet. That's why I've said it's so important that, more especially among us Africans, it's better with Europeans. But to us, we tend to be so rigid in culture because as a woman, you cannot run according to our culture because you are tarnishing your reputation. Again, as a man, you are so dignified if you have got just a big stomach. It means that this man is well fed. So if you can remove all those blockages from our country, so I think in this new developing new South Africa, this thing needs to be addressed.
To answer a question on the drop rate about the obese students as compared to the non-obese students, actually what happens is, in most cases, it happens when these kids are actually starting to go into high school, where you'll find that they are now aware of themselves, and some of them, they even, like he has mentioned, they have lost the direction. They actually think, okay, what is there for me to live for? Because I'm this big and everybody else is actually teasing me. So the rate of the pregnancy, the teenage pregnancy, also again, it's also a contributory factor, because you will find that most of the children, they involve themselves in the sexual activities at a very young age, especially when they start high school. And in most cases, because of the fact that they need money, they do not get involved with the boys their same age. They get involved with older men, which they call them sugar daddies. And that is what is actually causing a lot of problems that we have seen. In terms of the non-obese student, although there's also a rate of some dropouts, but their self-esteem is much better in terms of the fact that some of them are involved in sports. They can do athletics, they can do this, they can even get themselves involved in modeling. So they've got that purpose to look for. But the obese ones, it's a bit of a problem.
Okay, to add on that, though I don't have the statistics, most of teenagers are committing suicide in South Africa because of this pressure, which my colleagues have mentioned.